Fellow nerds, let's talk Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Theories in a little segment we like to call Theory-Palooza. Thank you. Sound effects weren't coming through. But this movie's coming out very soon. I think we're all very excited for it. I mean, the actual, this is being filmed. We are filming Thursday night, and the premiere in LA is going on tonight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But got a few theories I would like to discuss with all of you.
All right. This I am really looking forward to. My hype level's at an 11.
Nice.
What? They only go up to 10. No, this one goes to 11.
Exactly. Why not just make 10 the highest? Because this goes to 11.
Just like Cable's gun in Deadpool.
Right.
Do you remember when we were breaking down that trailer?
Yeah.
We talked about it, and I tweeted at Rob Liefeld after that. I'm like, is this a reference to? Oh my God, I can't even remember the movie name.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah, Spinal Tap. And he goes, "Oh, absolutely."
Yeah, I remember
he said absolutely.
He did. I think you sent it to us like 6 years ago, though.
Yeah, it was a while ago. We got some better.
I thought that was awesome.
So, are you guys ready for my first theory?
I don't know. Dave, are we ready? Can we handle this?
It's a Keith theory, so strap yourselves in, folks.
All right, I've got my foot on the brake. Dave, you got your pole?
Got my pole right here.
Dave, get your fishing pole. Doug, get your feet ready to pump them brakes. So, remember, in the opening sequence of Volume 2, Aisha, the Sovereign Queen, talks about being interested in Quill's DNA.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird way to say it.
And it is brushed off, kind of brushed off as a joke. Yes. But
I'm not into you like that.
it was also foreshadowing, his DNA coming from Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Because they referenced it at the end of Volume 1. The reason he could handle the stone was because of his unique DNA. She's talking about his DNA. We know that he had, a Celestial's DNA, basically. Half human, half Celestial.
Half Celestial. They said that in the first Guardians movie.
So I think that the Sovereign got some of Ego's DNA after that final battle in Volume 2.
Oh.
And I think that's what they gave the High Evolutionary to build Adam.
So Adam is part Star-Lord?
No, they got Ego's, so he would be Star-Lord's brother and Mantis's brother.
Ooh. That would be an interesting twist.
I think that because all this has been about family. James Gunn said the first movie was about the mother, second movie was about the father, and this movie is about basically the self.
Mm.
So
I was under the I didn't realize that because I thought in the comics that the High Evolutionary just discovered Adam Warlock. He didn't make him. So are they but are they doing that in the MCU?
I don't think so, because in the MCU they already said, remember, the Sovereign created Adam Warlock, because at the end of Volume 2, Aisha was like, this is Adam. He's the next step in our evolution.
Okay.
So I think, the comics had him just kind of being this being that was there.
Yeah.
In the MCU, he was created for the Sovereign by the High Evolutionary is my theory on that.
Okay. All right.
And how high is he? How high is he when he makes these people?
I don't know, man. How high is he?
Dave's not here, man.
Well,
a lot cooler if he was.
It'd be a lot cooler if he was. All right.
And now, we noticed a few things in the trailers that we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
One, we saw Adam Warlock attacking the Guardians on Nowhere.
Yep.
And I think the reason he is there, I think the High Evolutionary sends him there as a distraction so he can get Rocket back. He finds out in some way that Rocket is on Nowhere with the Guardians. Obviously, they've saved the universe twice. They fought Thanos. They did all these things. They have to be pretty well known around the galaxy at this point because, come on, they're the Guardians.
Of
So
the galaxy.
That's right. So I think he finds out where he's at, sends Adam as a distraction, takes Rocket. And that's why we see them going to Nowhere in the Bowie and landing in the scene we saw where Drax unfortunately threw the ball a little too hard at the girl. And that's why we don't see Rocket with
So
him.
you mean going to Counter Earth?
Counter Earth, yes.
Okay, because you said going to Nowhere.
I got an
Oh, jeez.
interjection there.
Okay.
When they're going out to the car for the FC, when they're coming out of the house, he says, "Keep Rocket here because that's who they're looking for." Did you hear him say that?
No.
When he first comes out of the house, he says, "Keep Rocket here because that's who they're looking for." And then they all got in the car, and obviously, Nebula couldn't get in the car, but he says that. If you want to check that out, I think he's there with them at first.
Well, he's not on the ship when they get off the Bowie when they first land on Counter Earth.
Well, we don't see him.
Right, I was going to say, unless it's a trailer
I'm betting
trick.
he probably took off ahead of them. My guess is, and this is I guess my theory, I don't think the High Evolutionary was specifically looking for him. My assumption going into this was he thinks of himself as like a god, and other people think of him as a god. He probably doesn't even remember half of his creations. And so for, Rocket is probably going looking for him in the same way that Drax was looking for, what's his name? Ronan. And just like Ronan didn't remember who Drax was, my guess, my theory, I doubt High Evolutionary even remembers or knows who Rocket is.
I have a theory.
Okay.
The reason that they even go to this place at all is because Rocket gets some sort of distress signal from, what's his girlfriend's name? Lila.
Or Layla, it's one of the two.
I think it's Lila.
Okay.
And he finds out that she's about to be torn apart like he was, and he goes there. Maybe he gets there before them.
It could be, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, I really think, to your point, Dave, I think the whole thing is going to be set up by Rocket taking off and doing his own thing, and the Guardians are going to have to go after him and be like, come on, we got to help him out.
Yeah, we know he's not afraid to leave them behind, like when he left with Thor.
So do you think he's going to find out, like, the Sovereign sends Adam Warlock to attack him at Nowhere, because obviously they want revenge on the Guardians from Volume 2. And Rocket finds out that Adam was created by High Evolutionary too, and then he decides, okay, I need to take care of that guy now, and he runs off by himself. Is that what you guys think kind of happens?
I could see that, yes.
I could see that, or I could see whatever trouble that they end up causing on Counter Earth. I think it would be right up their alley for them to accidentally, de-religicize, if that's even a word, like everybody on Counter Earth and be like, what, the High Evolutionary? No, he's just a dude. And then now he loses total control over this planet that, worshipped him.
I could definitely see that.
I have an Adam Warlock theory overall as well, too. He's going to show up, like you say, he's going to attack the Guardians.
I forgot about
because he's been fed all of this BS in his head by the High Evolutionary.
Oh, yeah.
And when he meets them and battles them and he finds out about them, he changes sides.
Now, that's part of one of my theories, too, and I think the reason he changes sides isn't just because he finds out that they're good people and trying to do right, but because he's basically related to Peter and Mantis. He finds out they are basically siblings, because remember, at the end of the holiday special, Mantis was so worried about telling Peter that they were related because of all the bad.
Peter was so happy about that.
Yeah, and that was a very emotional scene, and I think that is going to play in, because another theory of mine, I think Adam Warlock at the end of this movie is going to be a Guardian.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's going to be a completely different lineup because they're going to lose 2, maybe 3 members.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to restock.
And
restock.
Right.
You're so good.
oh Lord,
That is the coldest thing I've ever heard. We gotta restock some of them superheroes on the Guardians. A few died. Let me sweep them off this cliff.
How about
getting short of some
retool?
Guardians.
How's that?
Retool. Okay, that's a little better.
Retool it. But does this start immediately after the Christmas stuff?
I don't know if it's immediately, because Groot does look even a little bit bigger than he did in the Christmas special.
But that was on Nowhere, right? No.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, maybe like a couple of months, maybe a year or so. I'm not sure how much time hopefully they'll explain.
Yeah, I don't think they've said yet. I don't think they've said how long is between the holiday special and this, but it probably isn't too long.
Well, maybe somebody will come out and be like, "Oh yeah, no, it's been 2 years."
Yeah, the whole time Yoda was or Grogu was training with Luke, they were fixing up Nowhere, having Christmas parties, and all that good stuff.
Sitting there doing the math. Like, really? That long? And we missed it?
Can't believe.
Cool happened? No.
I can't believe nothing's come up that we've had to save the galaxy for in 2 years. That's crazy. Hey, look, that golden dude seems to be attacking us. Let's get him! Now, we kind of talked about, I think obviously they're going to stop the High Evolutionary at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But we know, I think we know, everyone knows, that we're going to lose some Guardians, like Dave said. We need to, because we know they need to restock the team.
We need to restock the team.
Rebuild? How's that? Rebuild. Okay, I'm sorry.
We know they're going to need, as Dave said, second time, retool the team a little bit because of some members are going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 members are for sure going to die, and I think 1 might.
I'm wondering if you're thinking the same thing I am.
The 2 members go ahead.
I know that they're almost leading us to believe that it is probably going to be Rocket and or Drax. But that seems almost too easy. And I'm wondering, with your theory of Adam Warlock getting a position within the Guardians, what if Peter also is killed off?
See, I don't think he will, because he's kind of like the heart and soul of the Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Drax is going to die.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons why I think that, well, there's 2 main reasons I think that. One, Dave Bautista says he's not going to do it anymore.
That's why I said it's such an easy pick.
But 2, in the comics, every time Drax gets killed, he's almost like Hawkman. He gets killed, he comes back. He gets reincarnated. So I think he may die, and if they decide to bring Drax the Destroyer back with a new actor, they'll explain this whole process, just kind of like how Groot kind of came back. He regrew. Well, he didn't regrow himself. He's a different Groot.
It's a new Groot.
Right. And that's kind of how Drax goes. And that's the 2 reasons why I think that. The other one I think is going to die is Gamora.
Oh, really?
Because she is a person out of time. She is not the Gamora that they knew.
Oh.
She was pulled, she came from the past with Thanos in Endgame.
So do you think the universe is going to try and correct itself?
Yes. And I think she's going to die in the final battle against the High Evolutionary too. Whether it's saving somebody, whether maybe saving Peter, because I think he's going to realize that this is a different Gamora. She doesn't have the same feelings for him that the other one did. But I think at the end, what's even going to make it sadder for Peter is that she's going to save his life. Sacrificing herself. And he's going to see that, oh man, he's going to have a very tough time dealing with that. Because we saw how
he's going to end up with Nebula. All right.
He's switching from green to blue.
Those eyes. I mean, I was tortured. He picked a pretty set. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
You gotta hand it to Thanos.
And then it's funny. The one character that I go back and forth on is Rocket. On the one hand, I think, okay, he's probably going to die. This is kind of wrapping up his story. We're getting his background. We're getting all of that. He's always been kind of a gruff, very a Yondu-like
Oh, yeah.
character, which is funny. You know what? all the Guardians movies, Peter has always taken like gruff from Rocket. And I was always like, that's kind of weird. Why does he do that? And then I realized one day that Yondu has treated him like that so much. He's like
so
used
to it.
Yeah, because Rocket and Yondu are almost the exact same way. And I realized that one day, and I was like, oh, that's really good writing. I never noticed it. But it makes total sense if you think about it.
It does. I hadn't noticed that, so...
But I also think Rocket may not die, on the other hand.
Okay.
Because, one, he is such a survivor. You know, he has survived through the High Evolutionary's experiments, everything he's done. He has survived, Ego. He has survived the Sovereign. He has survived Thanos. He just always seems to survive and finds a way to move on. Plus, he's kind of CGI. So if Bradley Cooper wants to make an easy buck, they can throw him in a new movie and he can just come in and do his voiceover work because, he wasn't on set doing the thing. And I think he might be someone they keep around, either as part of the Guardians moving forward, or he just goes off, him and Groot on their own, and have some like solo adventures, perhaps. But
well, if we do end up losing, Peter, if he ends up sacrificing himself for whatever reason, or gets caught up or in something, Rocket would be a good. He already considers himself. He thinks he's the leader of the Guardians. He thinks he's the captain of the ship.
He's the only one who can fly him out of that.
Right.
I was genetically engineered to fly this ship.
Now, I've got one more for you, Keith, that I don't know if anybody has considered. So I'm curious what you guys think. What about the High Evolutionary himself? What are his odds of making out of this movie alive? Because so far, every bad guy that the Guardians have faced, they don't make it out.
I don't think he makes it out.
You think that he's going to be another one-and-done villain?
He will be a casualty of war, I do believe. Because how far after this could his story really go? I mean, they'd have to delay it. For one thing, if you're looking outside of it, his story wouldn't be readdressed until after Phase 7 then.
But they could wait on stories. I honestly think he's going to live. He's going to buck the trend. He's going to be severely weakened.
He's going to be the one that got away.
He is definitely going to be the one that got away because I think they have stories that they could, we've talked about the Evolutionary War. We could see him with other plots down the line because he is involved in a lot of plots in Marvel Comics. Evolutionary War, he has fought Apocalypse. There's so much that he's done. I think they are going to have him survive and weakened. And that way, like Dave said, I don't think they're going to have anything for him till post Phase 7, perhaps. They can bring him back and have him, start wreaking havoc throughout the universe if they need to, because
Starting with the X-Men.
it could be.
We've been wondering how they're going to introduce him. It could have something to do with that. Now, I hope this is just a hopeful theory. I hope at some point in the movie his flesh face falls off.
You know what's funny? I think it does. I think he is going to be revealed to be more robotic than man.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like his look in the comics.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Because at one point it looks like his face is tied on around something in one of the trailers. And I didn't know if that was just unfinished CGI, but I think it was finished, and I think it's kind of showing that he's trying to look like a human, but he isn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, I guess we kind of talk. Any other characters you think might not make it to the end of the movie?
No, but one more thing to tack on that I just thought of. So, here, his face is going to fall off. Also, there's going to be a bunch of fire, and you're going to see him slow-mo walking like a Terminator.
I'll be back. Where are you going? I got to put my face back on. I'll just be back. Don't worry about it.
I understood that reference.
I'll just be a minute.
Just one sec. You just hear a staple gun. Okay. Anyway, where were we?
I'll fix the rest of this later.
It's kind of like drooping off to one side.
And then you hear the High Evolutionary's wife, Herbert, are you using the stapler to put your face back on? We've talked about this. We've got...
Shut up, Mom!
And that entire scene will be in absolutely no cuts.
You're darn right.
Absolutely. Sierra likes what we're saying.
Well, I mean, that is why they keep coming back to us to keep writing these movies.
There is a reason for that. She's a smart girl.
She is. Well, she's my daughter.
Exactly. Talented artist and smart. You don't get much better than that. Now, the last thing we probably should discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Who will be on the new Guardians team? Who will be on the restocked Guardians team?
I'm not gonna live that down. This is gonna be like
never.
This is gonna be like Morbius. I'm gonna be stuck with Morbius and restocked the rest of my life.
Yes, you will be.
Yeah.
There'll probably be something else that comes up that we'll have to add on to that for your trifecta.
Of course.
Oh boy, I need to make a shirt.
Okay, to your
Some
point,
janitor restocking the Guardians.
We're looking at. Well, I don't think Rocket's going to make it. So, in person. So we're looking at Star-Lord. Of the people that I think will survive, Star-Lord, Gamora, Nebula, Adam Warlock will be part of the team, and Groot.
Okay.
See, I think it's going to be Star-Lord, Nebula, Mantis, Cosmo, and Adam Warlock. And I keep thinking they might have some other sort of cosmic being, like a Quasar or a Phalabel, show up somewhere in this movie. And I think my thought is they're not going to reveal the new team during the movie. I think the team is going to be a post-credit scene.
Oh, like them doing tryouts or something, Deadpool style?
No, I don't think they'll do that. I think it'll be like they'll be on nowhere and they'll get a call. And if it's Star-Lord leading or Rocket, whoever is leading is like, Guardians, mount up, we got to go. And we'll see the ones who are on the new team kind of hustling out to go solve whatever it is.
Kraglin. Don't forget
Kraglin.
Oh,
I did forget about Kraglin.
Forgot about him too. Jeez.
And we have seen in some of the like posters and stuff that he is wearing the fin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I saw him.
He finally figured it out.
He actually shoots the arrow in one scene. It's really quick.
Yeah.
But he does. He's had years to master that too. So.
And we saw him practicing when he shot Drax at the post-credit scene in Volume 2.
That was good stuff.
That was.
Because the one thing James Gunn, and it's funny, at the Paris premiere, I guess they didn't show any of the post-credit scenes.
Ooh, so should we theorize?
James Gunn has confirmed there are 2 of them.
Only 2. Interesting. There are 3 in Volume 2.
I thought there was like 5 in Volume 2.
Was there that many? Jeez. Okay. I know
I love those. The whole credits in that movie were awesome.
They looked really cool. Yes.
Like everybody dancing on the sides as it went up, and everything that said "I am Groot."
I like the border, the kind of when it sort of looked like the back of an album or something.
It really did. It really fit the music motif of all the films.
You get the Hasselhoff singing the song. You know, you can't go wrong with Hasselhoff singing.
That's why that movie did so well in Germany.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably.
But I do think one of the post-credit scenes is going to be the Guardians being called to action, so we get a look at the new team. Kind of like we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron when Cap and Black Widow went out. We kind of saw who was going to be the next sort of run of Avengers. Now, the other post-credit scene, you may want to get your fishing pole ready, Dave, and your foot on the brakes, Doug.
Oh, all right.
I think they're going to start setting up Annihilation. Now, Annihilation, that was a major comic crossover event in Marvel Comics a few years ago that involved Nova. Pretty much everybody that was cosmic size. And we know that they need sort of a cosmic threat post Kang. And I do think they're going to set up. What did you say?
I said for a whole Galactus story, so that we at least become aware of them, in the universe.
Well, definitely. They've already been talks that Galactus is going to be in the Fantastic Four movie. But I think they're going to somehow either set up. There's been two annihilations, I think. I think only two. One of them was by Annihilus, coming out of the negative zone and leading his hordes. And, all of the cosmic heroes, Silver Surfer, all of the old heralds of Galactus, the Guardians, basically the Shi'ar Empire, the Kree. It was like basically a universal war, which, they could definitely have as a major sort of team-up movie at the end, fighting this off. But the other annihilation was Ultron.
I wouldn't mind seeing Ultron come back.
Ultron could come back at any point.
Yeah.
He definitely could. And I think, there's been rumors that he is going to come back in a Vision Quest series on Disney+.
Interesting.
So if he does, we may already be hinted that he's coming back in this Guardians post-credit scene where he is starting to put together. He's no longer just looking at Earth. He's looking at, destroying all life all over the galaxy because they're the problem. That'd be pretty cool. That's very far-fetched. I just think it's probably going to be something silly if you think about it.
Okay, well, then in that case, if it's going to be something silly, here's my idea. We go to some alien world. There's winds that are blowing, thunder crackling, lightning strikes, people are running for cover, and we see the land is flying up in the air, it's breaking apart, everything looks like it's being destroyed. And then we zoom out and we go into space. We see a giant swirling cloud consuming the planet. And then after he takes his last swallow of eating the planet, we hear him say, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
You know what you forgot in all that? Somebody walking out of the water and singing directly into the camera for 5 minutes. Some old Celtic tune.
Look, I'm doing bad Marvel things, not bad DC things.
Oh, okay.
Now, if it is a Galactus post-credit scene, setting up the World Devourer, I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted a rumor in one of our chat channels on Slack. Who is being offered the role of Galactus in the MCU? Did you guys see that post I put? This shocked me, but I'm kind of like, oh, actually, that might be okay. Antonio Banderas.
Huh. Okay. That's a choice.
Yeah, when I first read it, I was like,
he is an actor.
Of all the actors, he is one of them.
And he's done voice work with Puss in Boots, a lot of the Shrek movies that he's been in. Now, is he the perfect choice? I don't know. But, Marvel has a pretty good...
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really have a grasp on what Galactus would even sound like. I don't know.
He's going to be a Spanish guy.
I hunger.
Well, here's my question, too. Sylvester Stallone has that actual... name place in his movie. He's not just an afterthought. He's listed in the main characters. So
so he's going to have a more prominent role.
Yeah. What is his role in this? Are they going to back up the Guardians now that they're all cool with the Ravagers because of
new sacrifice?
I assume so. They gave him the lights of whatever they call it for his funeral.
That would be an epic battle. 99 factions, or no, 100 now. 100 factions of Ravagers.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't Gamora? Didn't she join one of the factions of Ravagers too?
In this movie, they say Gamora is leading one of the Ravager factions.
So okay. That would make sense. I could see
And
that.
we've seen Martinex, played by the wonderful Michael Rosenbaum.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they could. I mean, it could be either they're on nowhere when Adam Warlock attacks, and maybe helps them fight off Adam Warlock, or hey, you guys, you got to come to this Counter Earth place. We need to help because obviously, the High Evolutionary has armies of these, beast men, animen, whatever you want to call them. So they may need backup for there. That would be great because Sylvester Stallone character is a Starhawk. He's got powers. Martin X. We've seen, saw them in their post-credit scene in Volume 2, kind of teaming up again. Sylvester Stallone, hey, you guys want to team up again? They were all like, yeah. So they may be formed back up. So we may see 2 superhero teams. And I forgot about them, and I wonder if some of them are going to join the new Guardians team.
I wonder if any of them are going to be the same people, like, Ving Rhames or Michelle Yeoh or Miley Cyrus, or any of them are going to be part of the Ravengers.
I would assume they are. I mean, I'm sure they would do it if it's... The only thing why they might not is if they don't have the time or they're, scheduling conflicts or whatever, but I'm assuming James Gunn let them know, hey, it's a small role here, but we're going to have something bigger for you in Volume 3. We're going to, do this or whatever. So hopefully.
It's funny if Ving Rhames comes in and he's like, I'm going to feel the twinge in the back of your neck there. That's pride. That's pride effing with you.
All right, I've got one more other potential silly post-credit scene. This one's a little bit more in the realm of, MCU reality for a Guardians movie.
Got the meats.
I'm betting if the High Evolutionary does make it, if he is still alive, he's going to be thoroughly trounced. And he's probably going to be just kind of like sitting, by himself in a destroyed lab or whatever. And he's going to get a video call from the Sovereign? What is her name?
Aisha?
Yeah. And then we're going to hear the sax music from Baker Street play. That's your Rick and Morty reference, Dave.
Yeah, like, what was the name of those people? I don't know.
Don't remember now. But he's going to rush over and they're going to, have a nice meal and wine and discuss about, and how much they both hate the Guardians because they,
And David Cross is there, and he stands up and says, "Oh, this is going to be such a mine!"
You know what's funny? You know where I thought you were going?
And then they're going to totally do it.
I thought you were going to say he's sitting in his destroyed lab, and he gets a call, and it was going to be Howard the Duck.
Oh, God.
And
Hey.
he says,
And he's like, can you create me more of them bimbos or whatever?
That would be funny. I could see that, too.
"You're out of luck until you go duck."
Oh, God. I'm having terrible memories of that movie now. So bad. Duck boobs.
Yeah, the first Howard the Duck movie with Leah Thompson was one of the weirdest freaking movies ever made.
Yep. So, yeah. I know that you said that you needed some inspiration when writing this movie, and you asked me to go get some drugs, but you didn't tell me what to get you. So, like, which drugs did you want? Yes. Huh? All of them. I am making a movie about an anthropomorphic duck from a duck world.
It's the only way this is going to work. Give me a moment.
Well, once again, we nailed it. People are going to start thinking we've seen these movies early because we're so good at, theorizing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They should have at least a Howard the Duck special. I swear.
Oh, there's still time.
Yeah, I think at some point they will. He helped save the universe in Endgame. He was there. He's, obviously was part of the Collector's Collection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think
Howard and Cosmo hanging out.
That's right. He's probably on Nowhere. I would bet money he's on Nowhere right now.
Probably.
Why do you let him lick you like that? Gross.
Who did the voice for
Seth Green.
Seth Green, okay.
Perfect.
And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.